beloved chosen one. This is not a casual moment in your life, and it is not a random stirring in your spirit. You are standing at the edge of a battle that begins long before fists are raised, long before words are spoken, and long before visible trouble arrives at your door. The real war always starts in the unseen. It starts in your thoughts, in your focus, in your willingness to obey quickly when God warns you quietly. That is why this message reaches you now. Heaven is sounding the alarm before the first strike lands, because what is coming is not merely a season of pressure. It is a test of whether you will remain spiritually armed or spiritually exposed. You have already felt it, even if you could not explain it. The unusual heaviness, the strange fatigue, the subtle pull toward distraction, compromise, delay, and emotional numbness. These are not small things. These are early tremors. The enemy rarely announces himself with noise at the beginning. He prefers erosion over explosion. He chips away at your discipline, your prayer life, your confidence, and your clarity, hoping that by the time the battle becomes obvious, you are too weak to stand. That is why you must not treat this hour lightly. Don't do it, no matter the price. Do not step into this conflict unguarded, assuming your past victories will automatically carry you through a new war. There are moments when mercy warns before judgment allows consequences to teach what obedience refused to learn. This is one of those moments. You are being told in advance because your calling matters. Your future matters. Your spiritual sensitivity matters. The fight before you is dangerous precisely because it aims at your agreement. If the enemy can make you surrender inwardly, he does not need to defeat you outwardly. If he can exhaust your trust, he can interrupt your assignment. But if you wake up now, if you strengthen your inner life now, if you draw close to God now, then what was designed to break you will instead reveal who you truly are. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Receive that deeply. Fear is not your inheritance. Confusion is not your portion. Collapse is not your destiny. You are not being summoned to panic. You are being summoned to prepare. Arm your mind. Guard your heart. Tighten your discipline. The battle may be near, but so is the strength of God, and He never sends a warning without also making provision for victory. Like this message, share it with someone who needs this warning. Subscribe for more, and comment 711 below if you are choosing to stand armed before the battle begins. And the reason this battle has found your doorstep is not because you are weak, but because you are marked. There is something on your life that darkness recognized before many people ever did. You have wondered why resistance follows you in patterns, why certain doors close without warning, why misunderstandings rise around you, and why peace sometimes seems challenged the moment you begin moving toward obedience. It is because the fight is not random, it is targeted. The pressure is aimed at what you carry, not just what you do. The enemy does not waste serious warfare on empty vessels. He studies movement, timing, hunger, and calling. He notices when a person begins to mature beyond old appetites. He notices when prayer becomes deeper, when discernment sharpens, when compromise loses its appeal, and when heaven starts opening understanding in a way that can change others too. That is when resistance increases, not because your end will be defeat, but because your potential has become harder to hide. You are not under unusual attack because you are abandoned. You are under pressure because your life has become a threat to what thrives in darkness. You carry conviction where others carry excuses. You carry spiritual memory where others forget what God has spoken. You carry a light that exposes what was meant to remain hidden. That is why some battles seem to rise out of nowhere. They do not come to test your talent alone. They come to challenge your identity. The enemy wants you to believe you are too damaged, too delayed, too tired, or too inconsistent to be used. But the truth is that hell does not invest in attacking what has no consequence. The very intensity of the conflict is revealing the seriousness of your assignment. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verse 19. If you were of the world would love his own, but because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Hold that word close. The resistance around you is not always proof that something is wrong. Sometimes it is evidence that you have been set apart. You were never meant to blend in with what God called you out from. That separation carries a cost, but it also carries authority. So do not interpret opposition as rejection. Interpret it as confirmation that your life cannot move unnoticed in the Spirit. And as this message strengthens you, many help keep this work reaching other weary hearts across the world. If you feel led to support that mission, let your giving become part of the light that helps another chosen one stay standing. And if you do not understand what is at stake, you may mistake this war for just another hard season and fail to see the danger hidden beneath it. This is not only about discomfort, delay, or emotional strain. This battle reaches deeper than that. It is about your spiritual responsiveness. It is about whether repeated compromise will harden the place in you that once trembled at God's voice. The greatest loss is not simply pain. The greatest loss is becoming so dulled by disobedience, bitterness, pride, or exhaustion that you stop responding when heaven calls your name. That is how many destinies are not destroyed in a single day, but slowly abandoned. A person ignores one warning, then another. Prayer becomes optional. Conviction becomes irritating instead of precious. Delay begins to feel harmless. Secret rebellion dresses itself in reasonable language, and over time, what once felt holy becomes familiar. What once felt urgent becomes postponed, and what once felt impossible to lose begins slipping away piece by piece. This is why you are being warned with such seriousness. There are battles that wound, and there are battles that reshape your inner man forever. If you lose this one carelessly, the damage will not just be external, but it will touch your hearing, your discernment, your readiness, and your usefulness. The enemy wants you numb, not merely defeated. He wants you functioning outwardly while empty inwardly. He wants you appearing fine while your fire goes cold. Because once a person stops guarding the altar of the heart, everything sacred becomes negotiable. But you must refuse that path. You must recognize that conviction is mercy. The discomfort you feel when God confronts you is not punishment. It is proof that the door is still open. The pain of correction is far lighter than the pain of spiritual abandonment. So while your heart is still tender, while your spirit still responds, while this message still stirs something inside you, rise up and fight for your sensitivity to God. The apostle reminds us in the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 30, and grieve not the Holy Spirit of God, whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption. Take that warning with reverence. You are sealed, but you are also responsible to remain yielded. Do not make peace with what is choking your discernment. Do not entertain what weakens your obedience. The cost is too high, and your calling is too precious to gamble away in a moment of spiritual carelessness. Comment "Keep me awake" below as a declaration that you are rejecting numbness and asking God to keep your spirit alert, tender, and ready for His voice. So now you understand why this fight cannot be approached carelessly. You do not enter it with emotion alone. You do not survive it by intention alone. You must be armed on purpose. What defeats many people is not always the size of the attack, but the absence of preparation before the attack arrives. A neglected prayer life, an undisciplined mind, a compromised private life, and a habit of partial obedience leave openings that the enemy studies well. You cannot afford to give darkness easy access through doors God already told you to shut. This is the hour to strengthen what has grown loose. Return to prayer not as a ritual, but as a weapon. Return to the Word not as a decoration, but as daily bread for your inner man. Return to obedience in the small things, because many great collapses begin with tiny permissions. The enemy loves gradual surrender. He prefers small tolerated habits over dramatic rebellion, because slow drift is harder to detect. But you must become watchful again. You must learn to notice what drains your peace, what clouds your discernment, what feeds your flesh, and what weakens your spiritual reflexes. Not everything that feels harmless is harmless. Not everything that is common is safe. Arm yourself with silence before God so your hearing becomes sharp again. Arm yourself with separation from what keeps pulling your spirit downward. Arm yourself with fasting if the Lord leads you there, because some chains around the soul do not break through comfort. Arm yourself with truth when emotions become loud and unstable. And above all, arm yourself with immediate obedience. Delayed obedience has ruined many strong people because they assumed they would always have another chance to respond. But strength grows when obedience becomes swift. Clarity grows when surrender becomes complete. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in the letter of James, chapter 4, verse 7. Submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. There is an order in that command, and the order matters. First submit, then resist. Many try to rebuke what they have not first surrendered to God about. Many want authority over darkness while still negotiating with compromise. But your power in the battle is not found in performance. It is found in alignment. Submission is not weakness. Submission is positioning. When you come under the will of God, you rise into the protection, wisdom, and authority that flesh can never manufacture on its own. This is how you arm yourself before the fight fully begins. Not by pretending to be fearless, but by becoming rooted. Not by speaking loudly while living loosely, but by letting your private life come back under the hand of God. The enemy is most threatened by a believer who is clean in motive, steady in prayer, disciplined in thought, and quick to obey. Become that person now. And what was sent to overwhelm you will discover that you are no longer exposed. You are clothed, guarded, and ready. And this is where the warning turns into a promise, because the battle before you is not the end of your story. If you stand now, if you refuse compromise now, if you keep your spirit awake and your life surrendered, what comes out of this war will not be a weaker version of you. It will be a purified one. It will be a steadier one. It will be a more dangerous one to every force that hoped to silence your witness. The enemy wanted this fight to strip you of confidence, but God will use it to clothe you with authority. The enemy wanted to exhaust your faith, but God will use it to build endurance that cannot be faked. The enemy wanted you ashamed of your struggle, but heaven will make this very battle the place where your oil deepens and your voice gains weight. Do not believe the lie that one fierce season means you have been disqualified. The fact that you are still listening, still feeling conviction, still reaching for God, still resisting the darkness that came to bury your fire, is evidence that grace is still moving around you. Your calling has not evaporated because the war became intense. Your crown has not been reassigned because the night grew long. God is not searching for flawless people. He is raising yielded people, watchful people, people who know how to return quickly, repent deeply, and stand firmly when pressure increases. That can still be you. In fact, that must be you. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Zechariah chapter 4, verse 6, "Not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord of hosts." That is the key to your victory. You will not win this by striving in the flesh. You will not overcome by pride, noise, or self-invented strength. You will overcome by the Spirit of God resting on a surrendered life. The battle may be fierce, but the one who formed you for this hour is greater than what opposes you. And when this season breaks, you will not merely say that you survived. You will testify that God trained your hands, sharpened your discernment, preserved your purpose, and brought you through with fresh fire. So lift your head, fasten your heart again to obedience. Let every attack become another reason to draw nearer instead of drifting farther. Your future is not in the hand of fear. Your future is in the hand of the God who chose you before this battle ever began. Stand firm now, and what tried to end you will become the very ground from which your next assignment rises. Comment 818 below as a sign that you are standing in faith and refusing to surrender your crown before the battle is over. And if these words found you like rain gathered in the cracks of a long-forgotten field, then let that grace not vanish without a trace. Let your light be the lantern you hang at the edge of your doorway, a quiet glow that says this message reached a living soul. Let your share become a cup lowered into a deep well, then lifted gently to the lips of someone else who has been wandering thirsty through an unseen desert. Let your comment be a feather laid upon the altar of remembrance, a tender witness that says heaven spoke and your spirit answered. Let your subscribe be like choosing to remain beneath the shade of a strong olive tree, refusing to return to the barren places that drained your strength. And if your heart is moved to donate, let it be like placing oil in a vessel so the flame does not go out at midnight, so that somewhere in another silent battle, another weary heart may still find light, warning, comfort, and the strength to rise.